like all the athletes got kines degrees. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I decided to be a dietitian. Really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to do like hospital work, which I did for a little while.
Hmm.
And then I just fell into entrepreneurship and helping female perfectionists to beat self sabotage and lose the weight for good.
There we go.
What
So,
about you?
so I've kind of always been a health nut, but what really got me into it was the shift that I had. I played sports in college, and I was just trying to stay on the floor for as long as I could. Um, so, just in my background isn't even wasn't initially in nutrition, but once I realized that it was our centerpiece, like it is what controls everything, I had to shift over. So I was coming from, I thought that I was going to be a PT, a physical therapist. So I wanted to just really protect the body. And then from that path, I realized like food is it. And so I made that shift and just never looked back. And I have gotten into many different avenues and rabbit holes and just getting deeply rooted and showing people like, hey, a lot of things that are preventable, a lot of things that you can enhance in your life are encompassed around food, how you eat it, how
Yeah.
you treat it.
And tell us like who you are and how you help people.
So, my name is Eric Johnson, and I am a educator. I'm a health professional, currently a nutritional medicine doctor candidate, and I I like to help people, but I really like to empower people. Because when you help someone, they're just like, okay, we'll keep it moving. But when you empower somebody, they're like, oh, I need to get started today. Like we need to go to the grocery store. We need to empower other people. We need to clean out the pantry, all that. So I empower people to increase their quality of life. That looks like habits, nutrition, um, how they see food, just all types of things in that area.
Okay, cool. So I know we're talking about like habits, routines, like how to build better habits and start taking care of yourself better. What are some of your like top tips for helping people who might be struggling with that?
I like to keep it simple. I like to really keep it simple. I think that we've gotten away from that simplicity, but three things that I like to take care of are mind, movement, and nutrition. So I make sure that I am taking care of my mental, take care of my mental, and make sure that I'm checking in with myself and make sure that I am good in that state. Make sure that I'm listening to myself and being open to new things. And the movement piece, I make sure that I'm moving. I've been a personal trainer, a health fitness specialist for over a decade now. I don't train people anymore, but I still hold that experience and I still give pointers where is needed, and just staying in tune with nutrition and staying up to date, reading stuff. Oh, did I tell you that I garden?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I garden. I have a whole, I look at it as a grocery store. I'm going to call it a grocery store in my backyard. Like I go back there and I clip stuff up and put it in my dinner. Like I got cilantro, potatoes, tomatoes. A lot got lost in the freeze, but that's the beauty of life. I still have stuff that's there. So slim pickings right now, but yeah, I have a whole little grocery store in my backyard. What about
Yeah.
you?
We used to do that too. I homeschooled my kids for like 3 years and it kind of crossed over into the pandemic when everyone was like
Mm-hmm.
public schooling at home.
Uh huh.
But before that, we had a garden as well, and it started out really cute, and then it got real crazy after a while, just stuff everywhere. So it was cool. I One of my friends is a master gardener. Actually, she lives in Cibolo,
Cool.
um, and so I don't have a garden right now. However, I would like to. It just you have to really pay attention to it. I don't have the time
Yeah.
for it right now. Um, but in terms of like certain habits, um, I do like what you said about simplicity and keeping it simple. And I say the same thing as well as far as macros, mindset, and movement.
Hmm.
And those are pretty much the pillars of the formula and what I teach. Um, but I think like giving people really concrete actionable steps as far as like I know you saw me at an event where I was speaking and talking about like actually having a time to plan on your calendar.
Hmm.
That's something that you can go do right now. Go put here's
Correct.
Saturday 10 a.m. This is when I'm going to sit down with myself and decide what I'm going to have because a lot of people don't have that and that's like the very first step.
Hmm.
Um and then you can decide, okay, well, what out of this am I going to prep? Am I going to cook everything as a prep, or if I just ingredient prep, am I just going to marinate my meat and chop up my vegetables? Like, what is that going to look like? And then, like, build a system for yourself. So have that on repeat every week, so that you don't have to decide, well, when am I going to think about when to plan my meals, or if you do that for several weeks in a row, you start to have some go-to meals that you can just pick up really quickly that are just easy, healthy, and it decreases decisions. So at the end of the day, we're tired of making decisions. That's why dinner is usually not that great if we're busy, if we're not
Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah.
At the end of the week, also you've made lots of decisions and you're looking forward to Friday, and you're probably not making like as good of decisions as you were on Monday when you were super motivated.
Hmm.
So it's like about building a system for yourself so that you don't have to keep starting from scratch every time to think about what to do.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that so much. You just brought up a really good point. I'd like to talk about how difficult it is for someone that does not have a system. Like you were saying, sitting down with yourself and planning, and even if you're not pen to paper, uh, putting things into your phone or wherever how you keep your notes, just thinking about it and being intentional in that sense can make a whole world of difference.
Yeah, I think so. And I think we think that if we rush, that we'll somehow be more productive when it's actually the opposite. If you slow down first to plan, your week's going to go way better and you'll feel like you have more time because you slowed down at first. The more that you rush or feel like someone just told me today, I don't have time to cook. And I'm like, that can't be true. Like, even if it, let's say that was true 100%, oh my God, you do not have time to cook. It's time to reevaluate life
Hmm. Because that's our
because our
centerpiece.
priorities are messed up.
Yeah, that is our centerpiece. And I kind of rebuttal that and say, okay, perfect. You don't have time to cook. That's even more of a reason for you to sit down and really get this situated, because if you feel like you don't have time to cook or even figure out what it is that you're going to eat, that's something that fuels your body, and that's direct performance. People are being burnt out, people don't have the energy, people aren't waking up in the headspaces they're wanting to. So I'm curious, what are some intentional things that people can do? Because I hear that so much. I probably hear that just about every time that I'm working with people or working with a group of people. I don't have time. What is something that a busy person can do with intention to, I guess, create that time?
I'm glad you used the word create.
Yeah, I had to really slow down and say, because I'm getting really excited right now. But create that time.
You have to create the time because if you approach it from let me find the time, you're already behind the curve, and that doesn't put you at an advantage. We have the opportunity to create time by the way that we think about time. So time management is all about mind management. And if we keep saying I don't have time, you will never feel like you have time even if you do have the time. So it's more about like that shift plus prioritizing. We're not just talking about I don't have time to cook. This is what you're saying. I don't have time to feed the actual body that I live in that allows me to do all the other things.
Yeah.
Right? So making sure that if I acted like taking care of my body was the actual priority, how would that change my life? So I always talk about two. I tell my clients about the jar of life. If your life is a jar, and you put golf balls in the jar, the golf balls are your most important things, like your health,
Mm-hmm.
your faith, maybe your family. Then you put in pebbles that are like less important. You have the golf balls and the pebbles, and it looks full, but then you can actually add in sand. So now you have sand, golf balls, and pebbles, and it looks really full. Like, oh my God, my life is so full. But then you can put water, right? And your life is full of all of those things. But if you put it in backwards and you do the water, the sand, the pebbles, and you have your golf balls that will not fit. So we have to make sure that our golf balls are like our most important things in our life are in the jar first. That means prioritizing the time to cook, to plan, and then everything else will fill in around that. I know it doesn't feel like that, but it's true. Like it will fill in around it if you actually prioritize it and set your life up that way.
100%. I agree. I agree. I agree. So let, let's make a adjusted shift. A lot of what I hear too is it's expensive. I'd like to debunk that myth. What's your take on that about eating healthy being expensive?
Well, one, I'll just admit that I am so not a frugal person. So this is not coming from somebody who's a great budgeter. Okay. But I will say it's like, again, another shift of like, it's not inexpensive to be sick and to have doctor's appointments and to lose pay from work because you have to go to the doctor or to the hospital or buying medications or copays, labs. Like it's not cheap to not take care of yourself. But I think that, if you're a coupon cutter, like making sure that you understand how the weekly sales roll at your local grocery store, making sure that you price check, and that's an even bigger actual advocating for planning. Because if you don't plan and you go to the grocery store and you're just picking up stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you actually pick up stuff and then you don't eat it and it goes to
Correct.
waste in the refrigerator anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like that time to plan on your calendar is really important because then you can look at the sales at your local grocery store. You can buy in bulk, and things like that. So you have to be really strategic, and that's going to take some time.
It is. And might I add, getting to that supermarket, that grocery store when you're hungry, probably not the best idea. If you're hungry and rushed, that's probably not the best idea. And I can say that from experience because before I was intentional, I go into the grocery store and I'm just grabbing everything. And if you don't have a plan, you're grabbing all this stuff and something just sit in the back of the pantry and you don't eat it or it spoils. If if you have a lot of produce, so
Yeah, and I think too, like having again going back to the system. So one thing that I do or that I like to do, I used to do this on a piece of paper, or I can do it like in my app. We have HEBs in Texas, but
mm,
if you use Instacart or whatever, um, if I run out of something, like if I run out of avocado oil, I go ahead and put it on my list
mm-hmm,
or I put it in my cart. So that way, when it's time to decide and plan, my list is already, I already have a running list of things that I already need. So I don't have to start from scratch. Like I'm never starting from scratch. And then I go to the grocery store and I get the things that I need. Don't go hungry. Yes, that's a good point. That helps you not to buy food too that you don't need if things are expensive.
yeah,
Um, but having that, like, that's like a super duper simple system of just like, hey, if I run out of something, put that on the list. It saves you time and it saves you money.
for sure, for sure. And the the piece of psychology in our space. Um, what is your take on that and making sure that your area, your environment is ready for you
That's what I
to
was
make
going to
that
say.
change?
Okay. Because I
We're on
had
the same
lost my train
page.
of thought in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that too. I love, and I mean, this is just a personal thing, but I do think it helps, even if you're a type B person, because I'm a little bit more type A, but I love organizational things. So little clear containers, like I'm working on getting like boxes and stuff out of my pantry and like putting them in clear little containers. I just like the aesthetic of it. It makes you feel put together, more organized, and you can actually see
See what you
what the
have.
your groceries, your produce. If you open up your vegetable drawer and there's a whole bunch of bags in there, at the end of the week you go through and you're like, "Ooh, this cilantro went bad. Ooh, the avocados are rotten."
Mm-hmm.
So, like making sure that your space is clean, but again, like that takes time. It takes time to when you get home from the grocery store to wash your grapes and your, strawberries and put them in a container. Like that takes time. So, especially if you do have kids, like it should be a family affair. You should not be coming home with a whole bunch
Agreed.
of groceries that you just paid for with your hard-earned money and then putting all the stuff up by yourself, meal prepping by yourself. Like ask for help with all of that because it does take time
It does.
to do that, but you have to create that time.
That you just said something so meaningful because that's I look back to that time and I appreciate that so much. Coming in on a Saturday or whenever we got groceries and unpacking the groceries, looking at all that we had, washing off the produce, putting it up, packing it up. That's beautiful family time. If you have a family, um, if you have a partner, if you have a roommate, that's beautiful time that you can have looking at your food and you actually looking at it and internalizing like, hey, this is gonna nourish me. You can already start formulating the ideas that you want, like what you want to do with the food in that time. I think that's super key. Um, so how does one actually attack making that this task that seems like a chore? How do they attack that to turn it into a routine? What's something um, that they can do that's easy to start that can help turn that into a routine?
Well, what I was going to say was attaching it to an emotion. So I tell my clients this all the time, whether it's a walk or meal planning or whatever, like you're not just like going on a walk, you're going on a gratitude walk, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you're so like, you have your intention of like, I'm doing this with gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually doing a step challenge right now. It's a self love step challenge. So inside the step challenge, we're tracking our steps and making goals, try to hit our steps, but we're also looking at self love through the lens of the five love languages. So first week was talking about quality time. When you pay attention to a moment, the moment expands. If you try to rush through a moment, it seems like time collapses and it's just like never enough time. So when you are doing things, pay attention to them and have the intention of I'm doing this with love, with whether it's planning, walking, um, you know, unpacking the groceries with your family. Like really be in that moment and pay attention to what's happening and like add gratitude to it. Right, that automatically just makes it a little bit better just by having that attention and intention. Um, when you are trying to create another habit, think about the habits that you already have well established and don't try to do everything all at once. Attach one new habit to a habit that you already have well established.
I
So
like that.
we have our big picture of how we would like to live, but like start with one new habit that you want to start. It might be planning. So it's like, all right, I want to start planning maybe during my morning coffee session on Saturday, I'll couple planning with my like making my coffee
Mm-hmm.
and just like start from there and then you can grow it and over the weeks.
Yeah, that's big. That's huge. That puts it into steps that seem doable, honestly. Which who what who or what sat people down and told them like they should be doing that? I don't quite remember
Yeah.
that in the school system. That's very valuable what you just
Yeah.
said.
I
Yeah.
think it's like I feel like back in the day maybe they might have had like I don't know. I feel like they definitely need it now. It's like an adulting class, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like how are you going to manage your life? How are you going to manage your time? What things are you going to prioritize? Because if you're not careful, things that are not important, again, those, the sand, the pebbles, the water, things that are not really important start taking precedence over things that are actually important, your golf balls, and you feel like you don't have time. You do have the time, but the time is getting taken up by something else that doesn't matter as much.
Perfect.
So like being mindful of that.
That I appreciate that so much. I think that's an ending point right there. That's an end point. I was gracefully said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for having this conversation, Eric.
I appreciate you. Thank you for your time, Miss Stephanie.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
All right. So I just stopped the recording and that's going to render and upload. It said
Cool.